What's up, everyone? It's Flex coming to you once again from my home gym. Happy Friday. I am doing yet another video to call out Canadian mainstream media and their lies, their manipulation, their propaganda. So this Christian singer who's had 6 shows canceled, I believe his name is Sean. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Sean Foyt, I don't know. It's a very odd last name. But anyways, I never heard of this guy until 2 days ago. And the reason he's become so popular in Canada is because the mainstream media is vilifying this guy. And every single outlet is pushing the same message. They are characterizing him as a MAGA superstar. Whatever that means, it's a meaningless pejorative term designed by the media to elicit an emotional response and get people to automatically hate this guy, to tie him to Trump and Trump policies. And it's a tired line and it's a tired play, and the mainstream media needs to stop doing this. They won't, of course, but they need to be defunded. Every single mainstream media outlet in Canada needs to be completely defunded. No more subsidies from the federal government, because this is what you get. You get a mouthpiece for the federal government. And, I think it's comical. And he posted this yesterday. Like I said, I've never heard of this guy, but he came up in my X feed and he said, if I showed up in Canada with purple hair, wearing a dress and claiming to be a woman, I'd be welcomed with open arms. But because I'm a Christian, they want to cancel me. And think about that, people. Think about that. The left, who always purports to be what is the word I'm looking for? But the movement of inclusion and diversity, they're anything but. They only want people that espouse their own radical ideologies. Anything outside of that, they want nothing to do with. And not only do they not want anything to do with it, they want to cancel it. And the mainstream media in Canada is helping them do that. Why? Why? Because they've been taken over. This entire country has been taken over by the radical left. And it's time for us to take it back. And I want to point out that I'm not a religious guy at all. I have a very strong set of personal ethics and morals that I guide myself by, but I don't pray to any God and I don't follow any religion. I've said it before many times, I just try and be a good person. I try and be a good husband to my wife, a good employee for my employer, and a good boss for my employees, and a good parent for my children, and a good neighbor, and I pay my taxes. So there, I just wanted to get that out there because I've been accused many times, just because I'm a conservative, of being a radical Christian or whatever that is. Okay, the second psyop that the media has been pushing for months, and I have done several videos on this, is traveling to the United States. And it's beyond comical at this point. There's no reason not to travel to the United States, okay? Canadian travel to the United States is about 25% of their tourism, and supposedly Canadian travel to the United States is down 25%. So 25% of 25% is a very small amount. We're not affecting them. They don't care. And they don't care about Canadians with passports who are legitimately entering the United States. They care about criminals and illegal immigrants and people that are trying to get into the country illegally. That's what they care about. And the media is constantly cherry picking these little stories and withholding key information or burying it far down in the story, because they know that most people only read the headline and maybe the first sentence or two. So this week we had this absolute nutcase from, I believe he was in Quebec, and supposedly he says he was in Canadian waters. The US Coast Guard says he was in American waters. He was detained for 2 hours. Big hairy deal. And he's on the news, and they're all putting him all over the news, and he's crying and he's weeping and he's saying he'll never be the same. Dude, you were detained for 2 hours. Get over it. Like, it's ridiculous. I think this guy just wants his 15 minutes. And if you read all the way to the end of the article, you will see that the Coast Guard replied and said that they instructed him to maintain course so they could board his vessel, and that he accelerated and turned into them and rammed their boat, and that's why he capsized and fell into the water. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm sure you can figure out which story I believe. Okay, so the last thing that the mainstream media is gaslighting us about is Mark Carney and his abysmal failure to this point. You know, he ran on a campaign that we were in this huge crisis and he was the guy that was going to save us. And, you know, he's on vacation and Parliament is on summer vacation until the end of September. Like, why do they need so many months off? It's crazy. Pierre Poilievre said that he would convene Parliament to deal with this issue. And the Liberals are happy to take their paid summer vacation for months. I don't know, do any of you guys get several months off paid? I sure as hell don't. So the mainstream media, I'm tripping over my tongue here, the mainstream media now is trying to get ahead of his failure and prepare Canadians for his failure, and they're attacking Pierre Poilievre. Still, like, the election was in April, okay? Get off of Pierre Poilievre and do your job and hold the government to account. Stop holding the opposition to account. It's crazy. It's crazy when we have all this going on that David Cochrane, that little snake, that little weasel, that little piece of crap on CBC, and he's digging up stuff on Pierre Poilievre from 20 years ago. Dude, get over Poilievre. He lost the election. You guys manipulated the election. Good for you. Move on. Hold the government to account. So, yeah, I'm a little fired up on this Friday. But there you go. Mainstream media in Canada is manipulating everybody. It's one big, massive psyop. I'm going to take off my tinfoil hat now and go to work. As always, peace.